Yeah, good morning to every one of you. Yeah, whatever we have seen in until Unit 4, I will just summarize this Unit 4, and then from the next class onwards, we will start Unit 5, which is life enhancement skills. Okay, the next unit is life enhancement skills. Before going to that unit, so complete unit you have to learn this transformation of selves. After this unit only, you can clearly understand Unit 5. So this is unit 4, which is transformation of self. So we already completed this one yesterday. So I will just summarize this one once again. So transformation of self. Then this is regarding about yourself, understanding yourself. Yeah. This unit is completely regarding yourself or ourself. We need to understand better ourselves. Whenever we understand better about ourselves, nobody can judge us. This is the motive behind this unit. So we need to just understand about ourselves. That is nothing but self identity. We need to create our own identity. In order to create that identity, we have to discover first about ourselves. Okay, first we have to discover about ourselves, then only we can create ourselves. Our identity will be formed. So that's the transformation of self. How can we transform? If we transform ourselves, then only we can be a strong. So that's the motive behind this unit. So the contents which are there in this unit are the motive behind this unit is to have better insight of self-worth. Okay, in order to develop a better self-esteem. Okay, self-esteem is nothing but our own self, how much worthy we are. Okay, that's regarding the self-worth. And the contents in this unit is transformation of self. So definitions of personality. So what are the various definitions which are involved in defining the personality? Then characteristics of personality, elements of personality, traits of good personality, self identity, self concept, self discovery, self acceptance, self esteem, etc. All these needs to be we have already seen each and every one. So the prescribed book for this unit as well as for the next unit, fifth unit, is this one, Human Values by All India Association of Christian Higher Education. So from New Delhi. So this book you have to study. So in that one clearly they have written each and every topic. You can just go through this one. Already I have supplied the notes for this one also, textbook scanned copy, so you can read that. Then what are the definitions of personality? Why we have to first, why we have to study about our personality? Why we have to study about ourselves? Why we have to identify about ourselves? Why we have to discover about ourselves? If you can understand, if you can judge yourself first, then nobody can judge you externally. Nobody will come to judge you. That's the clear motive of this unit. By understanding yourself better, you can understand the world. With a better understanding, you can explore this world. So otherwise, if you don't understand yourself, somebody will judge you. Somebody will come to you and tell you that you are this type of personality, you are this type of fake personality, or real, or something emotional fool, or something like that they will describe. So in order to not to have that type of impression from others, we need to better judge ourselves. So by judging ourselves, first we have to define what is personality. So personality is nothing but a quality or state of being of a person. So whatever the quality we possess, whatever our state, present state, so that is nothing but our personality. So the complex of characteristics that distinguish you from others. Okay, your personality will be one unique, and others personality will be on other unique. So you will have a unique personality. So that's a unique characteristics. So that defines the overall scenario of your personality. Then the totality of an individual's behavior and emotional tendency, how you behave, how your emotions, how you can relate with the society, how you can relate with other relatives, how all this depends on your personality. That is also called as a personality. Then the organization of the individual's distinguishing character traits, attitudes, or habits. Everything comes under the definition of a personality.
Whom did you send to? MH.
Yeah, all these are the definitions. Your habit, your behavior, your emotional, how you can relate with others, everything comes under the definitions of a personality. Then personality is a dynamic. So it is a dynamic, not at all a static. You will have one personal characteristics of at the present time, but the same characteristics you cannot be in the other time. Okay, you will change that personality, but that is not that much dynamic. Somewhat dynamic it is, but every time you can't change your habits, your characteristics and the outer appearance and everything. You can't change that much dynamically, but it is somewhat dynamically. Slowly you will change yourself. That's the transformation of life. Then personality is a dynamic organization within the individual of those psycho physical systems that determine his unique adjustment to his environment. So how uniquely we can adjust with our surrounding environment. When you are here in India, you will adjust to this environment. When you are away from this environment, from India, some other country you are residing there, so you will automatically, human have the tendency to adjust to the surrounding atmosphere or a surrounding environment. So that's the basic quality of the every human being. So personality is the developing system of those distinctive emotional, cognitive, and spiritual attributes that manifest themselves in the individual's characteristic behavior at any point in the life, of course. So that everything, every character, every behavior, every emotion, which yourself manifest as your individual or a unique characteristics, is called as a definition of a personality. So throughout your life, this personality will be your own characteristics. By this personality only, you will be in this world. Then characteristics and elements of personality. So what are various characteristics and elements of personality? So the first one, we can classify the main categories, which are appearance, the outside appearance, or intelligence about your thought process and everything, emotionality, about your how you relate emotionally to the others, to your near and dears, or to others, how you relate yourself, sociable, how sociable you are, how you behave with others. Okay, that's the sociability. Then ascendance and submission. So submission to the Almighty, submission to the God, everything will comes under this one. Your moral character. Okay, when you are encountering some situation or some incidents, so how your moral character, how your moral judgment will be there. So that will also be there. And attitude. Okay, how your behavior towards others, how your behavior towards your improvement. So that will define as the characteristics and elements of a personality. Then the subcategories of this characteristics in personality are accurate. So you should be accurate. So work free from errors or mistakes, careful, precious, detailed. So all this will comes under your personality. So you should be accurate and active. Active means lively, agile, high energy, busy. Busy doesn't mean that every time you have to do something, but you use your time productively. So that's called as a active time or active. You should be active. Then adventurous, so somewhat risky. You should take some risk. So without taking any risk, nobody can succeed. So some risk, through some risk only some reward will come to you. So that's, you need to be adventurous. Then analytical. So every situation or every time if you receive something, you need to examine that one, separate the parts of something, and you can find whatever the meaning, essential meaning of that part or that situation, that emotional drama, what is going on. So everything you need to be analytically, critically analyzing that one. So you should possess that type of personality. Then artistic. So you should be appreciation. You should have appreciation or ability in the arts. So you should show appreciation one thing, or otherwise you should be able to comment. You should be able to just show the just see the beauty of any art. So that's an artistic approach. Then attentive, you should be attentive, like listening well, pay close attention to verbal and non-verbal messages. Like verbal messages means whatever we are talking now, but whenever we are moving with our hands or something, whenever we are teaching or whenever we are telling to somebody else, they will show you some non-verbal communications, hand gesture, facial gestures, all things will comes under this category. So when you are attentive, you can observe everything, right from the verbal to the non-verbal, like facial or hand expressions, everything you can observe. Then astute. So what does this astute means? Astute means nothing but an insightful nature, or you are clever, how clever you are. So perceptive, everything will comes under this astute. Astute. Then calm, you should be seeking a peaceful life. So everybody wants a peace in their life, so you should be calm, remain peaceful, composed and serene under pressure, regardless of how much pressure somebody is keeping on you, how much pressure the job is keeping on you, how much pressure your study is keeping on you. You should remain calm, you should be peaceful, then only you can have a confidence that you can pass through that particular situation. Then cautious, careful, prudent, exercise forethought, and everything comes under this cautiousness. You should be cautious in every situation. Compassionate, so you should be compassionate, considerate, sympathetic, human. So that means you should show some passion, whatever the life you have got to live in this world, you should be passionate, that one. Then collaborative, so you should have a team building skills. So working with a team is also very essential, not working as an individual. Remember, in this world now, everything technology, everything has been developed, so nobody will do than individual work. In every office, in every job, the teamwork is very much important, right from the pune job to the well maintained research job also, you need to have a team. So team building skills is also very much important. You should know how to collaborate with others, how to extract work from others. So that comes under the team building skills. You should possess the collaborative or a team building skills. Then competent, you should be competent. Okay, competent means nothing but how skillful you are. Okay, what are your skills, how you are improving your skills, your capability, your qualifications, how you are improving them from day by day, how you are improving. So that's, you should be competent with others. So in competitive, you should show some competitiveness compared to others. Okay, every time you should show some improvement. So strive to win, you should have that much motivation, that much enthusiastic you should be to win. So oppose a rival. So whenever somebody is just shooting at some shooting with words with some on you, you should defend them. So that remains a competitiveness. Conceptual, you should be conceptual, nothing but an abstract or reflective thinking. Okay, whenever some situation is going on, you should think a overall picture, at the same time the critical picture of that situation. So overall picture means it's an abstract, or reflective thinking means it's a critical thinking. You need to analyze in a critical manner. Then concern, you should have a concern. For this, concern for others, concern for self, everything we have seen in the unit 2. So concern is nothing but care and high regards for any situation, regardless of anything, any situation or any person, you should have a concern. Then creative, you should be creative, you should be inventive. This is much and should for our right now what generation we are living in. So for this generation, inventiveness, innovation, everything will be very important. For that one, you should have a creative personality. Then you should show some decisiveness. So okay, decisiveness, nothing but regarding the situation, whatever the situation may be, you should be determined to judge well. So if you judge well, then only a decision will come automatically, what you have to perform in the next step. So dexterous, next your personality should be dexterous. Dexterous means nothing but well coordinated, or how handy you are. So adroit, so all this will comes under this coordination, how well you are managing. So diplomatic, you should be diplomatic. Diplomatic, nothing but how skillful you are, how tactically you are handling the particular situation or a particular job, how you are negotiating. So this negotiation also comes under the diplomatic one. When you are experiencing something controversial topics or a controversial discussion, when you are participating inside that one, so you can't judge in a positive or a negative way. Every time you have to be diplomatic. You need to balance that one. So that you some more people will call as a diplomatic answer. So you should show diplomatic answer whenever you are participating in some debates or in some controversial topical debates. So you should be diplomatic. Then discreet, your personality should be somewhat discreet. So discreet, nothing but keeping confidences or showing some good judgment. So that's a unique thing you possess. Then dynamic, you should be dynamic, energetic or vigorous. So all this comes under the category of dynamic. Then empathetic. So empathetic means nothing but to understand the minds of other people. You need to understand the minds of other people. Whenever you understand the minds of other people, you should have a better judgment. Whenever you have a better judgment, you can take a better decision to enhance that particular situation. So sensitivity to or identify with the feelings of others or warm is called as empathetic. So you should be empathetic. And enthusiastic means every time you should show some interest or excitement or expressiveness in some topic or in some study, in some job or something. You should be enthusiastic every time. Then firm. So firm means you should be adamant. Okay, whatever you made up your mind means that you should be unlikely. You should not change your mind like that. Okay, whenever you are encountering a particular situation, if you believe that that particular thing is correct, you should make up your mind. No, regardless of any situation, how strong the external forces are, you should not change your mind. So that type of attitude is called as a firm. So your personality should be somewhat firm. And flexibility. So you should be adaptable or versatile, because why means that if you have flexibility, you can adjust to the other environments. Nobody can guarantee you the same life throughout your life. Nobody will guarantee you the same resources in your life. When you are flexible and adaptable to every situation, you can live right from the poor to the richest. Everything is possible when you are adaptable to every situation. Then foresighted, you should be foresighted. Foresighted, nothing but realize what is likely to happen in the future. So you should have a foresightedness. Okay, you should evaluate the person present. Then only you can know what is going to happen in the future. To some extent, you can guess what is going to happen. So that foresightedness is must and should for you in order to develop in the life. Then honest. So honesty is the best policy. Everything we know that one. Honesty means nothing but how truthful you are to the particular organization or to particular relationship. How truthfully you are maintaining that relationship or a job. Okay, that defines you. You are honest or not. The genuinity or having integrity, straightforwardness. Everything comes under this honesty. Then how logical you are. So you should be logical. Okay, without any like a rule of thumb. You can't apply anyway that a rule of thumb or some superstitions you cannot apply. So you should find some logicals. Whenever somebody is saying something to you regarding some situation or something you have to perform means you should observe it rationally. You should be logical, logically define that thing. Then only people will adopt that one. Then only people will admire you. Then open-minded. So you should be open-minded. Open-minded means nothing but impartial. So you should be impartial with whatever the situation or whatever the people on your side. Then receptive to new ideas. So you should accept the ideas. Whatever the ideas coming to your way, you should accept that one. Free from prejudice of bigotry. So when you are prejudiced, if you have some reservation, so you cannot give a particular judgment, okay, right judgment. So you should not have any prejudice or some prejudice in your mind. So then only you can have an open-mindedness. Then organized, how organized you are. So whenever you are performing some duty means, so how organized, how well you are maintaining that one. Okay, order, how you are putting each and every step in a order. So that will define you whether you are organized or not. Then outgoing, whether you are sociable or not, you are friendly or not. So that will define your outgoing personality, outgoing nature. Then perceptive. So perceptive means how observant you are, how keen you are interested, how aware you are about the particular situation or a particular drama, whatever the going on in your surrounding environment. So that will show that you are a perceptive nature or not. Then persistent. So persistent under pressure, how you can pursue, okay, how you can pass the situation regardless of how hard the situation will be. You should have a perseverance nature, that you should have your mind, make up mind that this situation will pass off in the next time. So that one is called as a perseverance. So persuasive you should be, persistent you should be. Then practical, you should be and practical in nature. So down to earth, you should show your attitude towards the down to earth, not as an arrogant attitude. realistic, pragmatic. This also comes under this practical nature. Then you should be responsible towards your dependent, your family, your relationship, everything. You should be act responsibly. That truthful, reliable, loyal, everything comes under this responsible nature. Then sensible. You should be sensible. You should have a good sense of humor and sound judgment. You can make a sound judgment. If you make a sound judgment only, you can take a decision to the next step what is going to come. Then you should be sophisticated. So nothing but an worldwide or a culture, how cultured you are. If you are sophisticated, you are well cultured. Then a strong means nothing but how powerful you are. You are built as well as your mental, intelligent quotient or emotional quotient, everything will comes under this strong nature. How strong you are, how powerful you are will be defined by this personality traits. Then what are the personality traits? So good personality traits from this one, these are the possible. Remember, everybody will not possess all these characteristics and elements, but we should know what are the personalities which will be we can look as a good personality definitions. So that is nothing but a traits. So first trait is a diligence. So how diligent you are. So do your duty to the best of your ability. So whatever the ability you have, you should apply that ability to your maximum extent. So that is nothing but a diligence. Then Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Yeah, am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am connecting through my mobile. Okay. Yeah, we'll continue. Yeah, then we are discussing about diligent. So this will comes under the good personality trait. So you should be diligent. You should perform your duty to best of your ability. Then only you can be called as a diligent. The next one is the fortitude. So fortitude is nothing but a courage or your bravery or guts. So your gut feeling. So you should be fortitude. Then being punctual, you should be on time, whatever the regarding any situation, you should be on time, then you should be called as a punctual. Then honest, you should be honest is the best policy, so you should be honest, you should remain truthful to whatever the relationship or whatever the job you are doing, you should be honest to for that particular one. Then being an effective communicator, you should be effective, you should communicate well with others. So not only the verbal communication but also with a non-verbal communication also you can show the effective communication skills. So how by the verbal communication, so how you can improve that communicative skills? So first you have to listen. So listening like a friendship, open mindedness, you should give feedback whenever somebody is saying something to you, you should give a feedbacks. That's what they are expecting from you. Then confidence, you should show the confidence. Non-verbal communications like a hand gestures or the facial gestures, everything will comes under this effective communication. And communication, the best part in the communication is the speaking. So however how well you can correlate, how well you can give a speech to others, how well you can take a class, it will defines your speaking characteristics. So speech is the most important used method of communication. So it's a best method for the communicating, so through the verbal means. And non-verbal means are also there. So you should have a pleasant voice, correct speaking speed, audible speed, distinctiveness and clear articulation and correct pronunciation are necessary while developing the mechanics of speech. So these are all the mechanics of speech. You should be good at this mechanics of speech, then only your effective communication skills will be explored to the maximum extent. Then a gestures, so there are two types of gestures. One is the facial gestures and next one is the hand gesture. So however you can show your gesture also defines you the personality as a good personality traits. So how well you can correlate with a particular situation will define you your gestures. Like in universal facial expressions, like if you see here, the happiness is one gesture. Everybody can understand by looking at your face whether you're happy or sad. So similarly the case of the sadness and anger also, when you're anger, your facial expression will be visible to others. When you are fear or frightened with something, so you will have a facial gesture as a very frightened nature you will be. Then a hand gesture, if you want to congratulate somebody, if you want to ask a question, if you want to show some gratitude to others, so everything will comes under the hand gesture. So you should be good at these gestures, non-verbal gestures. In the verbal gestures you should show have a good tone and everything, but in the facial gestures or hand gestures you should be possessing a good personality traits. Then writing skills is also very much important, because effectively how effectively we can communicate with others, how effectively we can mold our knowledge, we can safeguard our knowledge depends entirely on your writing skills. Because of writing skills only, the writing skills of somebody else or some author or some researcher or some scientist only, we are able to reach the current scriptures or current literature or correct books which we are using now. So everything because of their good writing skills only we can able to do this one, we can able to study now. Otherwise remember, when if you see, whenever somebody is not having a good writing skills, then he cannot articulate that knowledge into the transform that knowledge into some book. When he cannot transform that knowledge into some book, we cannot have we cannot pass on that knowledge to the next generation or the future generation, we cannot pass on that. So you should have very good writing skills. So good writing skills which comes under this, correct spelling you should use, clear punctuations you should use, grammar you should use correctly, use of connectors and the everything you should connect well. The range of vocabulary, you should have the vast range of vocabulary. You can refer to the dictionary, variety of sentences types and everything you can have. Then dividing the text into paragraphs, giving your answers in the exam also in the one single paragraph, it is not at all good. Giving in a point nature or breaking that particular para into the points, or giving the large text or a paper full of text into the breaking that into small paragraphs will help you in gaining a more marks that will be readable. So dividing the text into paragraphs is also very important. Then awareness of purpose and audience. So if you are having a well educated audience in front of you, you should your speed according to that one, your knowledge you need to enhance according to that one, your skill set you need to transform according to that one. If you are teaching to somebody lower classes like LKG or UKG, your speed, your thought process, your knowledge will be completely different. So like right now you have to know who are your audience, whether they are knowledgeable, whether they are graduates, whether they are undergraduates, whether they are school going children. Like this you have to understand that one, audience, set of audience. Then organization, how well you can organize your thought process is comes under this writing skills. Then coherence or cohesion or correct spelling, all this or nothing but how well you can correlate, okay, your knowledge, how your thought process is just coming into this writing skills. This involves your writing skills. Then listening. So remember, in every situation you should listen first. So whenever you can listen first, then only you can give a better judgment or take a better decision for the future. So every time you should have a good listening skills. So always you should listen first. So active listening skills. So whenever you are actively listening to somebody else, you can give a feedback to them, you can show some gesture to them, you can you can sympathize with them. So you can build a trust. Like this one, when you are listening well, or when you are paying attention towards others, so it will enhance not only their situation, but your skills will also be enhanced. At the same time you can build a trust to them. Remember, whenever somebody is saying something like a suffering, regarding their suffering, they are discussing with you, that doesn't mean that you should solve their problem. But whenever you are saying something, yes, I am there for you or something, so a single word, a positive word like that one means a lot for them. You need not to solve their problems, you need not to eradicate their sufferings, but a simple word that I am there for you, it means a lot for them. So to tell that word, you should listen first. Before listening, you just saying I am there for you, nobody will accept that one. After listening carefully to their one, after paying attention to carefully to their sufferings, then you say I am there for you, I will help you, or I will do whatever the possible thing with me. So like the gestures will help them in come out of that situation. So you need not to do anything to come out of that situation, but you can say some gesture, a good words, some positive words to them. So that defines your active listening skills. Then the next major topic is a self identity. So all the gestures will defines you as a good personality, you come to know that one. Now the part of you as a role you have to play, that to identify yourself, to discover yourself, to accept yourself, and to develop your self esteem, to develop yourself, you have to enhance yourself. So before you enhance yourself, you have to study about yourself, you have to identify what type of personality you are. So to do that, the helpful part is a self identity. So what is this self identity? So self identity is nothing but how worthy you are yourself, how worthy you are, how well you can correlate with others, your emotions, your career, your beliefs, your security, your significance in this society, your principles, talents, dreams, goals, physical features, values, habits, everything comes under this self identity. To identify that one, you have to do many tasks in your life. So then only you can identify yourself, what is your self-worth, what is your security, you can identify that. To do that, you have to first learn what is self-identity. So if you see the equations, the following three equations, what is the whole person definition? So good appearance plus admiration, is it a whole person? Or star performance, okay, you are a good performer in your organization, or you are a good performer in your class, or plus accomplishment, whatever the rewards and awards you are getting. So all that doesn't mean that means the whole person or certain amount of status, whatever the status you have in this world, and recognition, whatever the accumulations you have. So that does that means it's a whole person? No, that does not work, because there are many rich kings are there. The rich kings who lived in this world are there, but they are not at all satisfied with their lives. To some extent or to other extent, they are unfulfilled. They feel that they are unfulfilled in their lives. Remember, from this Bible, the King Solomon, he's having an unfulfilled life. Though he has somewhat riches, he is a wise man, he is a rich man, but he is having somewhat unfulfilled life. Because of that, he is having more than 700 wives. So you can consider that there is no a good definition for the whole personality, but your true heart, your true accomplishment, your self-worth only can define you, your wholeness of the life. So external appearances or richnesses or accomplishments, awards, rewards, recognition doesn't necessarily means or reflect or produce internal peace and maturity. So peace is important part of our life. So that doesn't comes from the riches or from your appearance or your rewards and awards, everything. So you need to remember that. Then the only identity, when there is no role of the riches or some recognitions or some status or something means, so there must be something, there must be some equation which should work for that, for us, so that we can be a whole person, we can have a whole fullness of the life. So wholeness and meaning in life are not the products of what you have or don't have, but you have what you have done or haven't done. So until now, what you have done, whether it may be wrong or a good, and next what you are going to perform in the next stage, that defines your wholeness of life. That's a whole life. So you should be looking in that direction. Then the self concept. So what is yourself? This we clearly discussed in the earlier unit itself. The self concept, yourself, how well you can relate to yourself, okay, to your well-being. So how can you relate to your near and dears? So your mother's parents, family, relatives, friends, and how well you can correlate, how well you can relate with them. And at the same time, to the unknown person, how well you relate. So that's entirely dependent on your self concept. So before accepting that self concept, so you need to answer, who am I? So for that one, you need to find an answer. That is nothing but a self concept through some constructive approach. So through some moral approach, so through some moral bindings, you can find yourself very well. Okay, how can you find out that one? You have to identify yourself. So the next one is self discovery. So it is somewhat related to your self identity or a self discovery. So self discovery is also very important to just have your own identity, to just have your own self worth. You need to have a self discovery. So process of self discovery, if you see, there are two types of processes for the self discovery. One is the internal discovery and second one is external ways. So the internal ways is somewhat very difficult. We cannot list down into the following steps. So you need to arrange on your own what you are going to discover about yourself through internal. But there are two external ways furthermore. So that external ways are nothing but through your near and dears, like parents, family, your friends. So what they are saying about you, you can just listen to them and you can define about yourself. Then other way is through the culture or whatever the society you are living around us. So they will define you somewhat, to some extent they will define you. So first listen to them, what they are saying about them, whether that is true or not. Just observe in like a manner, then you can discover about yourself. There are only these two factors only there, so you can try on your own. Then if you are discovering yourself or a self, your self worth you are discovering, so there must be a humility in your discovering. So if there is no humility, there is no point in discovering about yourself. This will automatically lead you towards the pride or arrogant nature. When you are leading towards the pride or arrogant nature, it is not at all useful for you. So you cannot enhance yourself. Automatically prideful people think that or arrogant people think that they know everything in this world. When they are thinking everything, they know everything in this world, there is no point in evaluating themselves, there is no point in living with others in this one. So everybody has to learn in their whole life. So that is a lifelong learning skills. Nobody will know everything. So like that, if you are having in your humility is having in your self discovery, it is worthy to go in a right track. That you can mean you are going in a right track, otherwise you are going in a wrong track. So there are very many personality traits which are possessed by many other people, like a prideful people or arrogant people or humility. Just we have covered that one. For that one, for the convenience, I am just reading this one. The prideful people will have a focus on others failures, so they should have they will have always the focus on the failures of others. And self righters, they will think they will write always, they are right, overly critical and fault finding. Everything they will find a fault. For every solution they will have a problems they will create like that one. Then the looks at their life through a telescope, but others with a microscopic view. So when they are looking inside you, they are just judging you as something. There may be many flaws in the person, so they are just evaluating that this person is like that, that person is like that, but they are not at all looking at there in a critical way or a microscopic way. That's why they are accepting the fact that they are not at all having any faults in them. Then they looks down on those who aren't as spiritual or committed as they are. So they will think that they are committed, they are very spiritual. If they are spiritual, they must be spiritual, but they did not impose that spirituality on others, but they can guide towards the spirituality, but they cannot impose that one, they cannot force that one. So but prideful people will impose the same spiritual thing, same thing or a commitment things to the others, but they will not guide them towards the spirituality, or they will not commit on something one. Then thinks they know who is truly proud and truly humble. So they will think then obviously that everybody, I know everybody's character in and around us. He is a proud person, he is a dumb person, like this they will evaluate. Every time they think like that, thinks everyone is privileged to have them involved. Okay, remember somebody is inviting you to some place, some of their functions or some parties. They think that the pride people, they will think that whenever I am going there, it will enhance their party. Okay, it will have a good gesture in their party. Like this they will think that. On the other hand, if you see the humility people, they are every time the down to earth people. So they will realize how far they fall short and have overwhelming sense of their need to grow. So how they will accept the difference first. If somebody is there, when they are comparing with them, they will accept that their difference, their shortfallings, their weaknesses with somebody else's weaknesses also. They will accept that one. That's that type of attitude they will possess. And compassionate and forgiving. Every time somebody committed the mistake, they will be forgiving. So it's a godly act, this one, forgiving. So you should forgive whatever the mistake they have committed. When somebody is asking you the apology, so you should accept them, you should forgive them. Then looks for the best in others. You have to look everything best in others. Then realize only God knows a person's true motives. Okay, nobody, how big the person, how recognized a person will be, nobody will have a talent to evaluate the complete nature of other person, what the motives he possess. Nobody will have the talent. Okay, only God will knows that what he is hiding inside him. So the humility people always consider this attitude. God only knows the true motives of others. I cannot know the true motives of others. But whereas the other arrogant and pride people, they will tell that they knows everything. So realize only God knows the person. Then seeks to win people, not arguments. Okay, they want to win the people, they want to win the relationship, but not the arguments. Okay, argument winning is not at all a suggestible one, because it will spoil the relationship between the two persons. Then leaves the judgment of the heart in God's hand. So whatever the judgment God is going to pronounce, they will accept that one. They knows that God only has to give the judgment. I am not at all a person who can give the judgment. So that type of attitude will be possessed by this humility people. Then the humility people thinks they don't deserve the opportunity that God gives them. So they will be the down to it. Because of that, they thinks that whatever they are enjoying it at the present point of time, they are not at all entitled. God has given blessed them with enormous things. Like this attitude will be possessed by the humility person. And the arrogant also somewhat we can relate with the prideful person. Like a fault proof, they consider they are a fault proof. They will not commit any mistake. They will not listen to them, they will not understand to other words. They will just show the arrogance and scold them. Like this. And interrupts in every situation, they will have something interruption. For every solution they will have something problem. And wants to be right every time, they wants to be right. They will be right. Like that they will think that one.
then doesn't see differently. Okay, every situation or every relationship, they will not at all think a different approach. Okay, they will not at all accept the differences between others. Okay, in the socio-economic, in this world there are many socio-economic differences, many socio-economic deviations are there. They will not at all accept that one. Then pushes point through. So whatever the point, whatever the idea they got, they will push them, they will impose on others. So that is arrogant people. Then shows frustration very soon. Okay, when somebody is committing some mistake, immediately they will scold and they will say, without having some patience, without listening to them, without showing any they will immediately show their anger. So avoids accountability, they are not at all accountable because they think they are god. So because of that attitude, they will not at all accept the accountability nature, they will not show their accountability. That creates a fear culture. Okay, they will fear them, they will fear the subordinates. Okay, if you do not perform this one, you will going to lose this one. Like this, they will fear that one. On the other part, the humility people admits mistakes. Okay, whatever the mistakes they are committing, so obviously they will just admit that one first, then only they will correct in the next step. Listen to understand, first they will listen and understand. Gives space, they will give some space to others. So has an open minded, embraces differences. Whatever the differences others is having, they will embrace that one. Allows ideas to emerge, they will not at all impose their idea on others, they will accept the ideas of others also, they will discuss the ideas of others also. Then demonstrates patience, takes ownership, build learning culture. They will learn, they will learn from each other. They will not say that I am the learned person, I already know everything. So like that, humility will be there. So in your self discovery or self identity, you need to create your own personality. So you need to have a humility in your attitude, otherwise that self discovery will lead you towards the pride and arrogant nature. So the precautions with regard to self discovery, like you need to have a humility in you, in yourself, and you should not deceive yourself. Whatever the reality you are encountering with yourself, you need to accept that one. The nature of reality is must and should, and it is very important to you. So your own self, so you are not going to discover about your own self alone, but you are also in the process of, in this thought process, you can discover to a partial extent the self of others also. You are going to discuss who is remaining on your side, who is your supporter, who is your opposer. You can know by this process. If your own discovery, self discovery doesn't lead to humiliation but arrogance towards yourself and others, then your lifestyle may be dictatorial. So this pride people or a arrogant people will obviously be a dictatorial nature. They will be a dictators, they will impose everything on the other people. Then self discovery equips you to become what you need to be for success, like emotional, personal, social, rational, business. In every success, self discovery is a must and should. When you understand yourself better, so you can judge better and you will have a better decision in future, and to live in the confident fullness of the of your purpose. So your purpose will be clearly defined when you discover yourself perfectly. So you also develop the mindset, skills, discipline, healing and direction you need to move in the forward direction, or in next step what you are going to take entirely depends on this self discovery. So after self discovery, obviously you need to have a self acceptance inside. So self acceptance is whatever the personality you are discovered in your self discovery task, you need to accept that one regardless of how inability, how enable you are, how weak you are. Okay, how your talents or shortcomings are there, you need to accept yourself. That's the beauty of our human beings. We need to accept ourselves, then only we can work on them. Your weaknesses, your inabilities, your shortfallings, everything, you can work on that one, and you can improve in the life enhancement skills. That's a part of life enhancement in every situation. So we all have a failures, we have a success, we have hard times, easy times, we have ups and downs in our life. Every time we have ups and downs, everything we have in our life, but every time we need to remember that we need to be happy and we need to be positive and we need to be peaceful, but not we need to avoid a negativity in our life. So to do that one, you need to accept yourself, then be balanced, then you work out on your enhancement, like a workout of on your weaknesses or shortfallings or inabilities, then only you can enhance your life to the further one. In every situation you should be balanced. So how can you be balanced? So self acceptance allows you to be in a normal, neutral, or a more neutral about who you are and how you are in this world. So being neutral means first you have to accept yourself. Then you understand you have a gifts. So you have a gifts, you have a challenges to face. So when you have a gifts, you can use your gifts to a maximum extent. You can confidently face your challenges. That's the beauty of this task, like a self discovery. Then the self-esteem, obviously when you discover yourself, when you're accepting yourself, your extreme, your self-esteem will be to some extent. So when you work on that one, your self-worth will be increased enormously. So this defines what is a self-esteem. Self-esteem is nothing but your sense of self-worth and a personal value. So that doesn't mean that you, whatever the possessions, whatever the accumulation, whatever the property, whatever the bank balance you possess, that doesn't mean that your self-esteem. Your self-esteem comes from your sense of your self-worth and personal value, not the external value. So it's a completely dependent on the internal value. In every time when you have a high self-esteem, so it will be very better, you are very likely to be succeeded in life, and at the same time you will be very likely to go to the top pyramid, top point of the pyramid of Maslow hierarchy theory, like a self-actualization or a self-realization stage. So believe in yourself, you can work on your self-discovery, you can accept yourself, then you can work on your self-esteem, you can increase your self-esteem. So all the best for you that increase the self-esteem and at the same time success in the nature. Then obviously from the Maslow's hierarchy theory, which we are just discussed in the first two classes itself, so self-actualization, everybody has to reach this stage. To reach that one, you should have a high self-esteem. So esteem needs you need to satisfy. So self-esteem, how important the self-esteem is, you can able to know from these theories. Then all these points you can just go through this one. So these points will help you to just say how your self-esteem is dependent on you, or your dynamic or your achievements will help you to reach your high self-esteem goals. Then people with high self-esteem and people with no low self-esteem, how they their behavior, how their attitude towards the others, and everything we can see in this one. Just these are the differences. You can go through this one. Then this is the activity which I have told you yesterday. So for the next class, you just best prepare this one. Okay. Otherwise, when you are not saying anything, I have to prepare some Google form. I will supply to you. So you have to list out all your strengths and weaknesses. Okay. Take as this voluntarily and do this task, do this activity. Just list out your strengths and weaknesses. You need not to say in front of others or in front of me in the class, on the whole class, but for your convenience, you can take up this task on your own. You just list out your strengths and weaknesses. If you have many weaknesses, everybody, how successful, regardless of how successful the person will be, he will have one or two weaknesses or more than one weaknesses in his life. So at least one weaknesses will be there in his life. So if you have a weaknesses, you can list out that weaknesses, you can work on that one, and you can enhance your life furthermore in the next coming time. Right now you are in just a UG class, or just first year of the UG class. You have a more than enough time. When you are reaching towards your third year, you will have you can enhance your weaknesses, you can convert your weaknesses to your strengths. So that's the major part. Remember, in every interview they are going to ask you this one: what are your strengths and weaknesses, what is your short term and long term goal? So to answer that one, you should have some experience. If you have an experience, you can able to articulate this experience into some wonderful sentence. You can say that, yes, in the first year itself, you can say with a example that, yes sir, I have a weakness, this was my weakness in the first year, but I have worked for 3 years on this weakness. I just molded this weakness into my strengths. That will have an advantage during your interview process. That impresses, that statement in terms will impresses your interviewer. You will have a maximum likely chances to have a that job. Yeah, this was the completion of unit 4 and a revision of unit 4. In the next class onwards, we will start studying this unit 5, which is a life enhancement skills. So if you have any doubt, you can just go through, just ask me. Yes, roll number 34. Anything you want to ask?
No, sir.
Okay. Just you want to show me the face?
So how much you may expect?
Sir.
Okay, all the best. Yeah. Okay, thank you for listening.
I think that's all. That's all 7 Okay.